Yo! Yep.
Hello, peoples. Okay, it's time for DAC Champloo 6 through 10. Let's talk about some shit.
There's some shit to be said.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know about that. Well, there's some shit to be said, but there was not a lot of drinking to be done.
Well, to be fair, there were some ups and some downs.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly episode 2 and... Not 2. We're past 2. 7 and 9.
Yes, which were the second
and fourth episode that we watched.
Yeah.
There was a reason I said 2, damn it.
Well!
7 and 9 were a little on the slow side.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other ones had a little bit of yeah. There's a lot of record scratching in these 5 episodes.
Oh my
Holy crap.
god! Yeah, specifically, was it the second episode that had all of the record scratches in the world?
I think it was the first, the eating contest one.
Yeah,
because it just kept jumping back and forth. It's just oh my god.
Yeah, so the record scratch one will definitely do you in this one. There's not a lot of deaths in this one.
There's maybe like 3 or 4 most.
Yeah, which is really surprising. There's one squirrel.
There's 2. There's 2 squirrels. You were in the bathroom for the second one. Remember, I made you drink for that again.
Oh yeah, son of a bitch.
Yeah. He broke the seal. He did.
That's life. So yeah, let's talk about him. Okay, so episode 1. 6. Fucking.
See, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one.
Okay. So episode 6 was the eating contest.
Eating contest.
That's where they meet
Holland.
Yeah, the guy from Holland who decides that he wants to be Japanese
because he's gay.
Yeah, like you do. Because when you're gay, you go to Japan and not San Francisco. Anyway, so yeah, he decides that because of a book that he's read, he's going to Japan because it will be accepting of his nature. But what they're not accepting of is the fact that he's European.
And even if you don't speak Japanese, in this episode, you can totally tell that he speaks kind of funky. If you're watching the show in Japanese, which you should be doing, because dubbed versions are dumb.
Yes. Yeah, always watch the sub versions.
DBZ.
Yeah?
DBZ, I like the English better. I really do.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I really do.
Yeah. But
anyway, so you should be watching the subbed version of Samurai Champloo.
Definitely.
But yeah, so it's listening to his Japanese compared with any anime ever, especially with this one specifically, you can kind of tell he's talking a little funky.
Exactly.
And even if you're reading the subtitles, like, the words don't exactly kind of correlate. It's like you can tell there's a little bit of a speech gap there.
And also, it's one of those things where you realize, why he ends up like killing everybody in the eating contest. It's like, oh, it's because he's not little and Asian, which is kind of racist, but
okay, well,
that's what they do.
How do you explain Fu then? She's a little 15-year-old Japanese girl that can fucking put it back.
That's because she will never say no to free food. So I get that.
It ends up being a chunky monkey after the eating contest.
Yep, which is real sexy. So yeah, basically, that's what happens in episode 1. They meet up with him. 6.
You'll get it.
Yeah, they meet up with him. He wins
their swords basically in this eating contest because they didn't have money because they were broke. So they put up their swords because it was worth something, and then Fu ends up losing because there's a fucking fly.
Yeah, a fly.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
So he ends up winning. He gets their swords. He won't give them back because he won them, and so he offers to give them back if they give him a tour of Edo.
Right.
So, like they do, they give him a tour, and it's kind of makeshift.
Because they've never been there either.
Idea.
So,
but they end up seeing this play at the end of the episode, and the main character he thinks is originally you think he's a girl, and I think he thinks so too at first. He's like, oh, she's beautiful. I want to go meet her. So they go backstage, and he's like, oh my god, you're a man, which is even better.
Mm-hmm.
And so he ends up being more in love and
completely smitten.
Yeah, so that was that. That's when you find out he's gay.
Yeah, exactly. And then you also find out that he's like a really high-ranked official.
Yeah, he's like a government-pardoned official to come into Japan.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, we gotta go home. And he's like, but I want to stay. And they're like, no. And he's like,
but
all right.
Mom!
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So, that's what happens in the first one. In episode 2...
was the 7.
Episode 7.
Pickpocket dude, right?
Yep. Yeah. Episode 7 was Pickpocket Dude. So yeah, they meet up with this guy. He ends up picking Foo's pocket of all the money that they just won gambling, and he's basically picking pockets so that he can get medicine for his sick mother. Yeah. Who ends up thinking that Foo is actually his girlfriend, which she perpetuates because she's awkward. And then this whole thing ensues because he ends up pickpocketing somebody, and it's actually opium, which gets him in a whole world of trouble. And in the end, he ends up dying.
Leads to trouble, really?
I know, right? It's weird. It's weird how that happens.
But yeah.
So he ends up dying at the end, which is rough because like he and Foo end up having this like
kind of like a love connection.
Yeah, this kind of like anti-hero type thing. Yeah. Like
and Moo. Wow, Moo. Foo.
Moo.
God damn it. God damn it. Moo. God, shut up. God damn it. I know my letters.
But you don't know your names.
Oh, God damn it. Foo ends up kind of like liking the mom. I guess they get kind of close in the episode. And so at the end of the episode, after he dies, she goes back to visit the mom. And the mom's not oblivious. She kind of knows what's going on.
Exactly.
And so she kind of knows when Foo comes back. It's kind of like one of those things. Oh, yeah, the mom's not oblivious. She kind of knows that her son has now died because of certain things. But yeah, so that was essentially episode 7.
Yep. Let's see. In episode 8, is episode 8 the gate one?
Is that 8 or 9?
Crap.
I feel like we're missing an episode somewhere.
I feel like we are too.
It's one of the two, because it was the fucking European dude, pickpocket dude, and the gate episode, and the last one is the one we just watched.
Yeah. What are we missing? Oh crap!
Well, because was there a decent amount of drinking in the gate one, or was that the slow one?
I don't remember. There definitely wasn't. That one was fairly slow as far as drinking went.
That one must have been 9.
Yeah.
Oh, the fucking the dude dressed in purple, the one that falls in love with Foo. That one.
Ah, yeah, right.
That guy.
Okay, so yeah. In this episode, there's this guy who ends up perpetuating himself as this like huge badass and
bigger than biggest.
Exactly.
Fuck all.
And he's got this guy who holds his mirror and a beatboxer who walks around with him. Never again.
I said, bitch.
Well, and so he ends up falling in love with Foo. He's actually looking. You find out he's actually looking for Jin because he's looking for these like master swordsmen to defeat them and then basically make his credit go up.
So you find out in the episode the thing that he's looking for that kind of gives Jin away is his glasses. But in the beginning of the episode, they're broke like usual. So they go to this pawn shop. Foo's dagger gives him nothing. Mugen's sword gives him nothing because it's not brand named, and so they end up pawning his glasses. Of all things, it's the glasses.
Yeah, those are the ones that the guy is like, oh my god, these are super red.
Like they show him the sword, and he's just like, fuck those. Let me see your face.
Yeah. Let me see your face.
That's pretty much what it was.
Literally. Because everyone's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they end up pawning the glasses, and so he's blind the entire episode. And that was also the chick that drinks them and drugs them.
Yes.
Yeah. So they end up eating at this
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where the guy sees Foo for the first time, falls in love, sends a little lackey over there, and she says no, like I want to have nothing to do with you, kind of a thing, like whatever. Then she's like, oh, it's so hard to have sex appeal. Oh my god, I'm so sexy. Blah 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 blah. So at that point, this older woman that actually has sex appeal kind of shows up and offers them a drink.
And they're like, peace, bitch, we out.
So they ditch Foo.
Yeah.
And so she gets all butthurt, and so she's like, well, I'm going to go fucking meet that guy then. Like I do. And so Mugen and Jin end up going to drink with this woman, which you find out Jin is a lightweight.
Super lightweight with the name Jin.
Weights. Yeah, you know?
Anyway.
So they end up going to drink with her, and so Mugen's holding his own like he usually does. And then she ends up slipping him a liquid in his drink and just fucking drugs him. And so, moral of the story, she robs them.
Robs them blind.
So they're broke again.
Hooray, roofies.
Yeah. So and then, what's her name? Fu.
Yeah.
Not Moo. Fu.
Moo.
Fu goes and ends up hanging out with this guy on this hill, and he's telling her his whole life story, autobiography, the whole 9 yards.
Right.
And so he ends up revealing at the end that he's looking for Jin. That's going to be his makeshift thing that gets him known. He's going to kill the guy that killed the guy that had 1,000 victories.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
So that happens. They end up getting enough money to get Jin's glasses back. When they go back to the pawn shop, they end up meeting up with the guy who wants to get the cred again, and one of his lackeys is actually one of the
disciples of the dojo that
exactly
Jin was from.
Yeah, exactly. And so he's been following this asshole around just so that he can find Jin to kill him and avenge the master of the dojo, which he does not because Jin's badass. And then Jin ends up not killing him, and he's like, well, there's a lot of us around who are gonna fucking come after you, and he's like, okay, well, you go tell him to go ahead and do that.
I'm letting you live so you can be my messenger, basically.
And then the other guy's like, oh, he's strong. I'm not gonna fight him. And then the chick who drugged both of them ends up being his wife, which is super weird.
Out of nowhere.
And then they leave.
She's like, are you coming home yet? Like, you got kids and shit at home. Like,
this is a weird relationship.
Yeah, that episode ended in a real funky way.
Yeah. So that happened.
Yeah.
Then we came to the gate episode.
Yes.
Whoa. Okay. So basically in this one, they come to this gate. They try to get through with fake papers, and they're like, no, you can't.
We're not dumb. You're under arrest.
Yes. So they're like, hey, we're going to kill you. And then they're like, oh, shit. This guy had a bounty on his head. So here's what we're going to do. You, being Mugen, you're going to go and take this head over to this place. And if you do that and come back... Exactly. and come back by sunset, your friends won't die. And he's like, I got this. And he bolts off. In bolting off, they're like, oh, by the way, there's a bunch of crazy motherfuckers
in the mountain
mountains.
Area.
So,
they might be kind of crazy.
Yeah, so if you meet them, don't die. So he ends up meeting them. They end up capturing him. And one of the guys who works as the gatekeeper is following him.
Yeah, and the guy that followed him actually came up with the idea to send him on this errand.
Correct.
Basically to deliver the bounty head, because the guy that was in charge, apparently they weren't supposed to kill him because he had a bounty. They want him delivered alive, but they already killed him at that point.
Yeah, so they were like, fuck.
So he came up with this idea, like, all right, well, let's send a messenger to do it so we don't get in trouble, kind of a thing. So they send Jin. They're like, oh, by the way, your idea, you follow him. He's like, oh, god damn it.
Yeah. So he has to go follow him. They end up both getting captured, and then the guy dislocates his shoulder, which is super gross, even in an anime.
Like, it doesn't show it, but they're both wrapped up in this, like, grass pile thing, and, like, they can't get out, and all of a sudden he's just like,
I got this.
Crack, crack, crack.
And
just takes his shoulder out completely to, like, make himself maneuverable. He gets out, and then it's just showing him, and he's just like...
Snaps it back in. Disgusting, even in an anime.
Not okay.
I know it's not real. Still gross.
Not okay.
Yeah, no. And so,
no.
After that, he sets a fire inside, and is like, oh my god, blood is on fire. Get us the fuck out of here. So they open it up. He ends up cracking the guy over the head. Battle ensues. What you find out then is that the crop that these people have been growing is a bunch of opium. Or marijuana. It might have been marijuana.
It doesn't say. But
it doesn't say.
Plants, it sets on fire, and they go for a fucking ride.
Yeah, and everybody gets high as shit. And the way that they get high, that's why I'm pretty sure that that's not...
because it was
not
a trip.
Yeah, that's not weed. Pretty sure it's opium. So, they all get high as dog shit. It ends up spreading all the way back to the gate where everybody gets high as fuck right before they're about to kill Fu and Jin.
Which was, when Mugen set out, he had a deadline. It was sunset. He had to be back before the sun finally set over the horizon, which he didn't because he was captured. And so, right as Jin and Fu were raised up on these, like, crucifix things, like, spears are, like, on them, ready to go, and they just start laughing.
Yeah.
And they just get the giggles, and they just go to town.
Tripping balls. And everybody just starts dancing and making out and having a great time.
Yeah.
And then they end up making it through the gate by morning, and they go
and they find They find Mugen with these mountain bandit guys, and
just
they're
fucking
just
tripping their faces off.
And so, of course, because that was where it originated, it lasted longer. And so, of course, at this point, it was already out of the system of Jin and Fu, and they find Mugen, and they're just pissed off.
So funny.
Just like Jin's like, I'm gonna kill him.
I'm gonna kill this
bitch.
Yep. And so, that's that episode,
9.
And then episode 10, it gets Cuckoo Banana Sandwich. Yeah, when what was his name?
Shoryu?
I think it was Shoryu.
Ukon, I think
was his original name. Yeah, Shoryu, this crazy bandit guy who
he showed promise in the dojo originally,
yeah,
and then he got sent overseas based on like the domain lord's request, whatever. Ship hit a storm, ship capsized, everyone thought he was dead. He ends up, I'm assuming China. That's what I'm going to assume on this one. He ends up on a continent, is what they say.
Yep.
And he learns a new martial arts style, which focuses a lot on chi, which is what makes me kind of think it's China, kind of a thing. And so he basically learns how to kill without damaging,
basically without slashing anybody. He uses his chi to destroy them internally. Mugen, Jin, and Fu, they all find out about this guy and that he has a bounty on his head, and so they're like, hey, this sounds like a good idea. And Mugen's like, all right, I'm out. I'm gonna go find this bitch.
I'll go out for a while.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find this bitch. So he goes out. He finds him. They end up at this house where they end up drinking together, and
it's
then
a little ramen tea house kind of a thing.
Exactly. And then they start to fight, but then they end up getting stopped because a bunch of people show up. And so exactly. And so he runs off and he's like, next time the moon is
next full moon.
Yeah, next full moon.
Shit's going down.
You and I, we got this. And so Mugen's like, yeah. So he gets all fucking Eye of the Tiger and starts fucking doing his shit.
Dog's tails and fucking
all that, chopping rocks and
fucking hanging himself from a wooden
for no reason.
Basically, bungee jumps off this thing and hangs by his like I don't even know.
I don't know why.
All the other ones make sense, but
whatever. So he does all that stuff to make himself stronger. You also find out that the guy that they're staying with, the priest that's there, was actually the guy's original master. And so he tells the whole story of how he ended up with this new technique. And why he's so fucking crazy. After that, they come to the next full moon. Mugen's like, all right, peace, I'm out. I'm going to go find this bitch.
I'll go out for a while. I'll be back.
Again, yeah. So he goes out. They end up meeting up again. And they're like, all right, let's do this.
Do this shit.
Battle ensues. He actually goes in. What was his name?
Shoryu?
Ukon.
That one.
He ends up going in for like one of his massive chi attacks, and Mugen actually sends that shit right back at him, and he's like, "What the fuck is going on?"
He's like, Mugen, no way.
Yeah, but in the process, Mugen gets hit. So Mugen gets hit. He goes down, and he's like, "All right, I got this bitch." So he starts running at him, about to do a final chi attack, and Mugen's like, "Hidden knife, bitch!" Stab. And fucking kills his ass, which I was like, oh, that was fucked up, but it happened.
So the guy ends up dying. Mugen wins, still gets fucked up.
Yeah.
But and then I guess I don't know. The priest was near the waterfall and he had his little beads things out. I don't know if he was praying for something, but as soon as the guy dies, the beads break and it kind of like
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that he was like praying for the guy's soul or something like that. So, yeah, that was the 5 episodes. They were kind of boring and then very interesting.
It had ups and downs.
Definitely this time.
There was, not really any much progression in the story other than maybe episode 6 where Fu ends up asking the European dude anything about the Sunflower Samurai that they're searching for in total, and he doesn't really know anything, but then she shows him this like pendant that's on her dagger. And he says, like, he tells her not to ever show it in public because it's going to be bad news kind of a thing.
Right.
She doesn't understand why, and it doesn't say at all in the episode, but he does end up telling her to go to Nagasaki. Which she'll be able to find answers there, is all it said. So that was the only real progression. Yeah, progression in the story as far as the whole overall objective goes.
Exactly.
I guess the other ones were considered kind of fillers.
I guess so. I mean, it's just like it's a process of them getting to the next place.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just do it in, well, never mind. So, that was episodes 6 through 10. In the next episode, we're going to do episodes 11 through 15. Super excited. So again, let us know in the comments down below or a video response how you felt about episodes 6 through 10. Also, about episodes 1 through 5. Also, how was your day? Did you have some sandwiches? I hope so.
We went outside for a little while.
Yeah, they're delicious.
Kind of cloudy today, but
I mean,
whatever.
whatever. That's here in Orange County, but wherever you are in Tennessee, it might be nice.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's episodes 11. Now I'm getting ahead of myself. I can't. It's either 1 through 5 or 11 through 15. I can't even.
Why can't we get the numbers correct in this one?
We're good at math.
Yeah. No. I never claimed to be.
Anyway. That's episodes 6 through 10. Like we said, comment below. Be sure to subscribe to us. Follow us with this series of DAC.
Yeah.
I guess so we're done with episodes 10, so we're not quite halfway. When we do the next episode, we will be 13 as the midway point.
Word.
But yeah, so we're moving right along with this. Comment, let us know what you are. In the next episode, we'll probably look back on the first 2 episodes, and we're going to comment on your guys' comments. But in order to do that, you have to comment.
So please comment. Yeah.
So,
on that note, we'll see you guys next time. Bye. I hit a wall. Oh, motherfucking son of a
oh, hey, there's a wall there.
Beat the whatever you fucking episode 1, motherfucker.